I think primarily for me it's having worked with some really good agencies in the UK, W&K, obviously you've got to have great creative thought. That's absolute basic, and I expect all agencies to be able to deliver great ideas and great creativity. But I think it's moving beyond communications, to being a more strategic partner, and I think that's important at the point of kind of the understanding of context, all of the data we now have, both the retailers' data, but hopefully also the agency can bring value to the table with insight and foresight and understanding, so that together we can have greater empathy of the customer and of our colleagues to help define better our purpose as an organisation and a brand, to challenge a retailer who in a fast-moving environment can slip into old habits and old ways, productivity, efficiency. And I think, secondly for me, is to move beyond just kind of campaigns. And there's a lot of proliferation now of touch points. So how can we better understand and manage the communications, the experiences a customer has in the many touch points of a retail brand today? And I think an agency has got to be in that place and kind of in the space of customer experience, no longer advertising. Of course we've got to tell stories, but there's just so many ways we can tell stories now. And it can't be just campaign one-off bits.
Depends which agencies we're talking about, what their disciplines are, but I think really being attuned to the strategic challenges, the dynamic nature of retail. Not many industries move as fast as retail. Agencies have to move fast, they've got to be agile, they've got to be reactive, but they've also got to be thinking long term as well. We work to sort of 15 to 18 month planning cycles, but they can all change in an instant, and agencies have to be able to plan, but also be able to react to that as well.
I think that agencies are in a unique position to see new technologies as they come out and see how they can be used in innovative ways. I think agencies are also able to step back from the problems that a business faces and look for creative solutions around them. So we're seeing agencies work with technologies like emotion reading software, so that you can gather customer satisfaction data or get real-time customer response data in a very honest way. We're seeing agencies look at how you can use holographs and other augmented reality type solutions to bring technology and bring a store to life in ways that hasn't been possible up to now. And I think that really draws people in to the stores, because obviously everyone's concerned about how do we manage the balance of online and in-store, and making the in-store experience something that people want to come to is a big part of that.
So I think agencies can add value in terms of creativity and innovation, the kind of stretching the ideas of the companies and that they're working with to make sure that they're not just focused on kind of just like what's the next small step, but what could be the big kind of evolutionary change or revolutionary change that they should be looking at.
So I think agencies have to understand what it's like to be a shopper. I think I often see lots of presentations where people show you a picture of what your shop will look like, but they've never shopped it or sold it. And I think agencies can add value by understanding the role it plays in a customer's life and within your organisation. Like ultimately, we all present to board members and we all go on to seek approval. So you need to understand those people around you and what it is they're going to answer you, and second guess that. And I think if the agencies can get under the skin, understand your objectives, the customer objectives, where's the market going, what's the norms, what are those big periods in time that will transform your business from a sales and also an NPS perspective, then I think the two things together will just be one agreed, concept that will go forward.
Probably understanding the consumer behaviour. I think most organisations like to believe they understand their consumer, but I think where an agency can come in is potentially provide a second pair of eyes and a lens that we're perhaps as an organisation not necessarily looking through. So I think agencies can be provocative and can potentially challenge some of the strategies that perhaps you've taken for granted.
Well, so most of the businesses I work with don't have many agency relationships, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. So decision makers and agencies add another layer of complexity. But I think one of the things that Businesses that are sort of direct, i.e. they have a team in-house, and Specsavers is a good example. They're always very vocal about sort of saying everything we do is in-house, except perhaps like buying some of the media, but you know, the creative side. I think a good agency should keep their clients honest, and a good agency should be pushing them because they can afford to be a bit more sort of flippant and say, you know what, that idea is, it's okay, and okay isn't good enough these days, I think. So I think good agencies should be really, really punchy and should be pushing retailers to do stuff far, far beyond their comfort zone. They should be comfortable pitching ideas, 10 ideas, 9 of which should be almost ludicrous. And I think that's what agencies should be doing. And I think, and it's easy for me to say because I don't run the P&L for an agency, but they should probably retire some of their clients more frequently and just say, well, you know, we don't want to work with businesses like you. We want transformation, you know, we don't want sort of incrementality.
So I think agencies' role for me is to really understand the customer, first of all, to help develop those insights on behaviour, because it's all about customer behaviour. And, you know, there's no point creating things if customers don't really appreciate them or value them. So I think agencies' roles is to help clients, retail clients, understand the customer, analyse what they think the game changers might be, and then obviously what most clients would expect from an agency is great communication. So to find the words to describe it or to find the visuals to bring it to life, to inspire. So I don't think agencies' roles have changed really, but they do need to really get the retail transformation and understand what customers want for the future. So it's classic insight and understanding coupled with amazing comms really and ideas.